Hey guys, welcome to Utah Music Producers. I'm Rich Bischoff, and today I am just hanging out in my own home studio, and I am enjoying a drink from Maverick. My wife went and picked these up. 25-cent refills all summer, although I do think the cup costs $8. Anyway, so it's been a good time visiting lots of studios and interviewing lots of producers. I've learned a lot. Big shout out to my buddy Greg Downs at Pell Horse Sound, who hooked me up with this amazing t-shirt. He said I could work in the yard with it, but it's such a nice shirt that I think I'm gonna wear it out to like fancy restaurants. So Greg, thank you for the shirt. If you haven't checked out his video yet, Pell Horse Sound. He has an amazing studio with a cool vintage console in there. Anyway, what I wanted to do today was talk about live recording, in a sense. I guess I should say live recording on a budget, because I've always wanted to get a good live recording of my bands playing in the clubs or wherever we play, but I never could. You can't really do it with one of these. I don't know where my handheld is. Anyway, one of those little handhelds just doesn't quite do it. You kind of want to mic everything on stage, and so I didn't want to like break the bank, and I didn't want to take my laptop and some of my gear into some of the places we play, just because. And so I was looking for some simple solutions and some low budget, cheap solutions of doing that. And what I found is this little handy deal here. If I can get this off here. This is the Zoom R24. So basically it's a 24 track recorder. It's basically a filled recorder, but with 24 tracks. It's made of plastic, but if you spill a drink on it, you know, it wasn't that much. I think it was like $200 on eBay or something. Anyway, so that's actually what I am using to record my live band, or my band live and other bands. And for the most part, I don't take out expensive microphones with me. I just use kind of just some live mics to run into that. It has a bunch of XLRs on the back. It even has phantom power. So if you're micing a drum kit and you got a phantom power overhead, you can use that, or any other mics. I think all channels. Let's see how many channels I found. I think all 8 channels are phantom powered, so that's very nice. When I'm doing more high-profile recordings live, say it's not for just myself or something, I may take out like some nice preamps or something to run some of the mics through. But also, I found this little mic kit on Amazon by Pile, and when you think of the word Pile, something else might come to mind, but these are actually really good mics. You've got a pretty decent kick mic, 2 overhead condensers that actually have them mic'd up on my kit here in the studio right now, which they sound good. And then it comes with 4 tom mics, or you can even put these on. I've been putting them on mic cabinets, and then just running in vocal mics. And so I've been getting a pretty good recording of my band live and other bands that I've been doing with just a basic setup. And I kind of want to just walk you through what I do in the box after. Sorry, this is noisy. Kind of walk you through what I do in the box after I've recorded the band. We don't really do anything crazy as far as I basically set up. It's just a normal setup. I set up my amp at a show, but I'm also setting this up while I set up my amp and running chords to the other band members, which takes a little extra time and it might be a little more stressful just because it's time-wise. But if you show up early, well, if the band shows up early, then you can have a lot of time to do that. Anyway, so this is what I used on a recording I'm going to go through with you that I recently mixed for a band I play in called the Quinn Brown Project, Quinn and the Boys. And yeah, it was great. And all I used was these mics, this recorder, and some great plugins that I use in my DAW, and you get a pretty good live sound, especially for your YouTube videos. A lot of those bands out there, if you're looking to do YouTube videos on the cheap and have good sound, I bet I spent $300 on this recorder and these mics. Maybe a little more, maybe $350. Anyway, let's go listen to what we can do. All right, guys, so this is the DAW I use. It's Reaper, and it is just basically no reason that I really use it in particular. It's basically just what I started using when I first started recording, and so I've just kind of stayed with it. I think I tried Studio One once, and I've learned this DAW so well that I don't really want to jump and do anything else. And it does everything else. It does everything most other DAWs can do. Anyway, so this is the live recording from the band Quinn Brown, the Quinn Brown Project band I play in. And so I recorded this one night at some club. I don't even remember where we were at for this one. And basically, the recorder I used, I just showed you, you can only record up to 8 tracks at a time. And so I've got kick, snare, overhead. I think I doubled the overhead to do like kind of a smashed room mic sound along with it. Bass, guitar, rhythm guitar, vocal. So eight tracks. And then down here I have a drum bus, some stuff I do with vocals, delay, reverb, your normal stuff. Anyway, so let's just talk about what I do. I'm a big advocate for good plugins. And what I mean is I like the Waves and the Slate digital stuff. It really does wonders to what I'm doing. Stuff sounds really good. So let's just start on kick drum and let's just solo it and kind of listen to what it sounds like. Sounds really killer, but if I actually bypass that and we play it back, or bypass the plugin, that's really what the kick sounded like. So basically what I'm using on this is I'm using Trigger 2 by Stephen Slate, and basically I don't mix completely wet with the kick drum or drums. I like having the real sound of the drums in there. Even though this was kind of a crappy recording, it's still nice to have kind of that sound of kind of the weight of the drums. I mean, not that the samples don't have that weight, but yeah. So that's kick drum, and then I love the Slate Virtual Mix Rack, and all I have on the drums is I'm using the Virtual Console Collection on every channel, the API console for this specific recording, and then just a R compressor, R comp from Waves on the kick. Same thing on snare. So here's snare. So without the plugin. So basically, same thing. I'm using Stephen Slate, and I have a lot more of his snare from the actual mic in the track, not just the samples, and you can kind of hear some of the ghost notes he plays, which just makes it sound more real. R compressor, and then again, Virtual Console Collection on everything. And then moving over to overheads, I don't remember what I even did on this. Oh, just a preset from the Virtual Console Collection called Overheads Smooth. And same thing, Virtual Console Collection, EQ, and a compressor, basically is all it is. All right, so moving on to bass. have virtual channel, or virtual mix rack, just an EQ and a compressor. This is just another preset from Slate Digital, and I didn't really spend a lot of time on this live mix because it was a YouTube video for my band, and I just wanted it to sound more raw anyway, just how it is, and so I just added a lot of presets from plugins, which sound really good. And then my guitar, same thing, just a preset, EQ and compressor, and if we listen to that, let's see. And bypass without the plugin. So it just adds a little more high end, more gain to it, basically. And then on Quinn's guitar, I am doing same thing, just a preset from Slate Digital from the Virtual Mix Rack collection. And then he runs his guitars really clean, and sometimes they don't sit very well when I mix. So I just added this little one knob plugin from Waves called Driver, and sounds like this. So not a whole lot of difference to it, just adds a little more grit to the guitar. Quinn's vocal, again, I'm running Virtual Mix Rack on him. I do use Waves Tune just to tighten up the voice a little bit for live stuff, especially when you can't hear yourself on stage because you have a horrible sound man. Not that we always have a horrible sound man, but sometimes you do. And then just, yeah, same thing, and then just a de-esser on vocals. That's it. All right, and then we have just the drum bus, and really on the drum bus, I'm doing a lot of the same. Just the Slate Virtual Mix Rack plugin, and I'm just actually using a plugin called Drum Bus Thick, and I'm not a plugin, a preset, and I'm not actually really I am using the presets as a starting point, but I do tweak the presets to make them sound how I want them. And then with the drum bus, I really felt like it was a lot of high end with the cymbals and stuff that just was really kind of harsh. So again, I added the virtual tape machine, which really smooths out a lot of that high end stuff. So if we listen to the drum bus by itself, let's do that. Then bypassed. Back on. Really, it just tightens everything up, is what it does. And then I have a little track here that I use. Again, this one knob from Waves. The driver, I just added some vocal distortion to Quinn's lead vocal, and I just kind of mix it underneath. It just makes his vocals a little thicker. By itself, it just sounds kind of weird. You expect gonna burst in the flame. Anyway, so that just adds a little more thickness to his voice for live, more in your face type of thing. Delay. So I love this delay. This is the H delay, and probably most of you guys that have Waves use this. I love this delay. I use it almost on everything. This one, and there's one by a company called Variety of Sound called Nasty Delay that I really like a lot too. That's a free plugin. And then I've got for reverb, and I don't think I'm using much reverb on. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. Let's listen. Let me just solo the reverb real quick. More of just an ambient room sound on the reverb, and I'm using the Valhalla Vintage Verb plugin. Good plugin, not that expensive, and I use it a lot. I also use the Waves reverbs quite a bit. But yeah, just basic stuff on there. And then I have a doubler, and I don't remember what I did on the doubler, so let's pull this up and just see what I did. Oh, so I'm busting something out to this doubler, so let's see. It looks like it is oh, just vocals. So yeah, I have a little bit of doubling on the vocals. So if we solo that. It was once upon a place, sometimes I listen to myself. Gonna come in first place. People on their way to work, baby, what did you expect? Gonna bust in the So that's the tracks, and then on the mix bus, this is what I do on the mix bus. Not all the time, but this is what I did on this song. So, starting in the front, I have basically Slate Digital's virtual mix bus, API modeled mix bus, and then I have the Ssl Compressor from Waves, which I really like the sound of it. And I mostly use that on rock stuff. I haven't really used it on a lot of other stuff. And then I'm using this really free. I'm using this compressor plugin called Density Mark III by Variety of Sound. This is a free plugin that just has a lot of cool presets like gluing, summing, and I use the summing one a lot. It makes things sound really fat and kind of really just smashes everything together. It sounds good. And then from there, this is another Variety of Sound, another free plugin. This is called the Baxter EQ, which is kind of like a mastering EQ. And I just put this on the mix bus at the very end, just to kind of really smooth out and get the correct amount of highs and lows I want. I sometimes do other stuff, but this is just why I'm doing this. And then always the virtual tape machine on the master bus. So that's basically what I'm doing. Mostly a lot of Slate and Wave stuff and some free stuff thrown in there, plugins. But yeah, for not too much money, you can buy a little cheap recorder and some cheap mics and get some really pretty good sounds for your live videos. Alright, so thanks for watching this episode of Utah Music Producers. I don't know if you found it informative at all, but I thought I'd just pass on some of the stuff I do, information I have with what I do with live recording and how you can kind of get some pretty decent sounds out of some cheap equipment live. I mean, something like this 15 years ago would have cost you a lot more than it is now. So there's a lot of tools out there for everybody. But that's just kind of what I'm doing. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Hopefully have a lot more studio tours and other content coming your way. Again, this is Rich Bischoff with Utah Music Producers. Farewell.